All right, we're live again. Welcome back. What it do? And how are you? So I back again. You know, I didn't have a very productive week's end in terms of what I wanted to accomplish on this project. Sometimes I just kind of don't have it in me. I don't know really how to explain it, but there's times when this little naughty voice in my head says, "You don't have to do that right now. You can do it later. Let's do something else instead. Let's fall into a YouTube rabbit hole about some bullshit, you know." I've had a few of them over the last few months, YouTube rabbit holes that I've fallen into. Right now I'm kind of straddling a couple different ones, to be honest. One that I was in recently is BattleBots. I don't know, I watched, can't remember what got me into it, but I watched one little BattleBot competition, and then I had the taste of blood, or you know, fire accelerant or whatever. But it was very addicting. Hello, Veronica. Welcome. Always good to see you. I'm just reminiscing about the different YouTube rabbit holes I've been in, where it's like I just get obsessed, and YouTube understands me very well, and it will just automatically throw me all its new suggestions. So I feel like I'm just getting tumbled around by the algorithm, but I just get very hyper focused on like BattleBots, for example, and I was just watching all the BattleBots I could, and it was all I could think about, and I'd be watching clips of it between classes, and then after class, after work, when it's time to do the cartoon, it's like, okay, I'll do it. I just gotta watch some BattleBots first. Maybe I can kind of multitask and watch BattleBots while I work on it, which I can't, because I just end up staring at the BattleBots who are smashing and crashing into each other to my great satisfaction. Oh, but sometimes it's not satisfying, and then you gotta keep watching. And I kept finding myself going back to the hardest hits, highlight compilations, because I needed to get my fix. I needed to see a 250-pound robot get chucked up in the air and have its titanium armor plates smashed to pieces. It's addicting. And then I don't know what happened. After a few days, I just didn't give a fuck anymore. It was on to a new thing. And BattleBots are no longer my best friend. What replaced BattleBots? It might be more hip hop reaction videos is the main thing, but I'm having all these side spin-offs. So I'm watching reactors. Oh yeah, the latest thing is one time I clicked on a video of saying someone playing Breath of the Wild for the first time. Someone who had never played a Zelda game. And I was like, wow, interesting. I just wanted to watch that. That sounds fascinating. Reliving the experience of playing that game for the first time, which I've probably put 1,000 hours into that game. So I know it well. And there's also the same kind of frustration / satisfaction that BattleBots gives me of just watching how someone kind of interacts with the game, how well someone reads the clues, how well someone intuits and stuff. And through all this, It's been a very effective beef battle because his voice is so unique, and the way he just intonates his delivery, it's just one of a kind. It's great. And yeah, it's weird. I'm hooked on Kendrick. I was already a fan before, but it was never something I was like, ooh, I gotta hear that song again. Except King Kunta. I always like King Kunta. Go back to that song a lot. But Broccoli is gonna be my new favorite jam. I don't even know what that means. Woke up looking for the broccoli. I wonder if it's another Drake diss. That'd be kind of funny. Okay. And you mentioned hip hop reactions. Have you seen Donald Glover? We were talking about him before. He also did a Drake diss. Donald Glover / Childish Gambino did a song that's pretty much a Drake diss. So, broccoli's money because it's a green vegetable. Makes sense. Woke up looking for the broccoli. And it's weird when it's just, the beat's so good. Oh, man. So, I thought today, I finally, because all these problems I have of lack of productivity, they're sort of helped a lot by live streaming. But I have to feel like a little bit of self-discipline to live stream. Right? I have to watch what I say. I have to watch what I broadcast. I have to watch what I'm spending my time doing. Because I know other people are doing it. Okay, interested in the Donald Glover. Donald Glover hasn't liked Drake for a long time, and it's no surprise to him that his beef went down like it did. Yeah, that's what I saw too. I don't remember who told me. It was in something about how they didn't like each other. Donald Glover also had trouble with getting respect from most of the industry, I think. Because he's a bit of an outsider because he was an actor first, although Drake was too. But I think Donald Glover is like a 10 times better and more famous actor. But he got a lot of hate. He probably still gets a lot of hate from other artists. The thing I mentioned about how his look, like he dresses like a dad. I think he mentioned something in there of like dress your age, act your age. And as he's getting up in age, he's like, I'm not gonna dress like I'm in my 20s. I'm gonna like try to look like my age. Which I kind of appreciate that. Not a bad thing. All right. So as you can see, I've got Dan and Jordan director, script supervisor, special hate for Drake, one actor to another. Yeah, I bet both of those guys grew up hearing similar things said to them and about them of like, hey, look at you, you're so multi-talented, you can do it all, you can act and you can rap and everything, you're a triple threat. But Donald Glover's the true, I mean, he's more than triple, because he's an amazing improviser, he's an amazing actor and musician. Improviser, actor, musician, writer, all that shit. Because he could basically just handle all aspects of creating a lot of multimedia. A jack of all trades, but he's not like trying every genre of music or whatever. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying he's spread too thin, but he's just fucking multi-talented in a way that I've never seen from Drake. I'm sure Drake's does well too. But he is just fucking cringe. The more I ever hear about him or see him, he's just cringe. I still do like Just Hold On, We're Going Home. Just hold on, we're going. It's a pretty song. I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he act tough. That's what it is. The melodies are great. Yeah. I did discover a few Drake songs that I like throughout this beef. But not really any of the diss tracks. Especially not anymore. They just did not age well. If like Push-Ups was like pretty good, but honestly, now listening to Push-Ups again, it's like embarrassing. It's like, dude, just stop. Just stop in the past. He has 2 Emmys for acting and for directing. Okay, he's got the Emmy. I know he's got at least 1 Grammy, maybe more. Redbone got a Grammy. And then just before this, I get these little mini rabbit holes, maybe like prairie dog holes, of looking for covers of the Gretchen AI version of the song. Just hold on for ice cream cone. My favorite part about that is that she's singing that song as an attempt to comfort the crying frog, who is just so sad that these 2 goddamn famous guys won't get along. All right, what do I do with these guys? I need to maybe make Jordan, because he's holding the script up. I just made this 1 frame so far, but I think he needs to like be like looking down at the script, holding it rather than waving the script in the air. And I think I also want to get like a closer up side view of him when he's going to be talking to Alex, because he's going to come in and say, hey, Mr. Jones, that's great. That's all we need. We'll call you. So at that point, I think he should be like still with his headphones, board or something. Oh. Should I make like some like little what are they called? Like just the little stagehand helper guys, like with coffee or something, running back and forth. Just hold on for ice cream cone. Just hold on, we're going home. Just hold on, I lost my phone. Just hold on for ice cream cone. Uh-oh. Yeah, she's like, what do you think was going on in that song? I think his GPS stopped working. All right. So what's the plan? What's on the plan? I need to change this, because this Alex needs to actually be different. I need a different body. This is just a still. So actually, I think I can just re-import. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, I can just re-import another picture over this one. Boop, 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 boop. Because I'm not actually sure what position he's going to be in when I'm using this shot. He might actually be looking this way. So while we're zoomed out here, I don't even know. That's the thing. I'm not sure. Is he going to be, he's going to be actually delivering this line. So he's going to be looking this way. His eyes, he's not going to be, I think it's hard for to articulate, but I'm finally saying it aloud. This is what was bothering me about this, is that I hard coded him in. He's just one layer with the background. And I was thinking, okay, I can, just get another model, but I have to do the table on top of him, so I just need to re-export a new version of this. But I do have the background guys, and I have a little moment where they're like, eh? So this guy, I think I want him to look over at this guy instead of like that. So he would just turn his head like that and lower the boom mic a little bit. But we would see like this much, right? So we have Alex on this side. And then as soon as he starts, like, the first really wacky thing he says where it's clear he went off script, then he'll go, So I guess I just got to do a different version of this. Let's do that. Let's write this down. I'll keep a list. I don't know how anyone can listen to Drink after the new music video. Yep. Kendrick Adam and then Serena Williams at the Ep seat like Drake was cooked so bad. True. To do. Okay. Boom mic operator glances. I need to get Jordan reading script / clipboard. I also need Jordan laughing. Right? Because as soon as Dan something, he goes, that was some of the beats of the network speech. And then they both start cracking up. And I got Dan. Wait, what's going on with his arm? I'm going to have to fix that. Jordan laugh. So yeah, I just have to fix Dan laugh. Are we still connected? Does chat work? We're going to try going to DaVinci Resolve, which is my video editing software. It is also my audio editing software. And why don't... Oh, we're not 136. Let's listen to 946. Or, no, not 946. 947. The answer to 2084. 2085? 947. What do you think's gonna happen on the 1000th episode? Should we do something special for it? That's 53 weeks away. 53 weeks. There'll be, or no, that's weeks, episodes. So they might do a few a week. So it's going to be less than a year. It could be. It all depends on how fast they go. So here's a little bit of work I've done. I laid out the backgrounds and some of the body poses. and the text. I don't know why I decided to do some of the captions first, because a lot of times I save that till the very last bit, and occasionally it's just tedious. And they can actually, if they're there first, they're actually more helpful to sort of guide and figure out where to place the other clips around it. So let's take a look. And I don't even know about the beginning part, what I'm going to draw here, or how I'm going to even start the episode, where it's going to actually pull in.
It was high level, folks.
Do I do a cold open?
I mean,
Do I don't do a cold open? These are the questions. These are the questions we will ask. Okay.
it was high level, folks.
It was high level, folks.
I mean, the highest levels of the New World Order directly, obviously, reach out to us.
As high as Tolkien.
And they just said, you just need to kind of do a truth and reconciliation, an apology tour, and we'll make you bigger than you've ever been, and you'll be protected in this dangerous world. Because, you know, they're saying we're dangerous and the world's going to get more dangerous. And I, of course, said, no, thank you to that. But, I mean, that's how real this is. And, of course, it's all on record, too. But, you know when I tell you that, it's real, right?
No. So Alex starts talking about how he got this offer of the Truth and Reconciliation Committee.
Sure.
And he starts talking about how he was in these boardrooms. Okay. And then it turns into him talking about how he lived that scene in Network.
What?
Where Ned Beatty is...
Get out of here.
Yeah. And then Alex does a line reading.
It's all in a movie.
You know, like in the big boardrooms in D.C., the big boardrooms in New York, the big boardrooms in Los Angeles. I've been in them all. When I say all those cities in the boardrooms. And, you know, you get the little Howard Beale speech. Remember Howard Beale in Network? It's that speech. You think you just messed up a business deal, Mr. Beale? It's not a business deal, Mr. Beale. This is a church. This is a system, and you are a unit of this church. And, Mr. Beale, in the final equation, we're going to destroy your soul. That's what we traffic in, Mr. Beale. You have meddled with the tidal forces of nature, Mr. Beale, and you must atone. Do I got your attention there, Mr. Beale? You get up there on your little 12-inch screen every night and you talk about countries and borders and nations and peoples. There are no nations. There are no peoples, Mr. Beale. There is only spectrum of corporations and companies, and each of us is just a little piece of that larger whole. And you see, you're obsolete, Mr. Beale. You're non-essential, Mr. Beale, and we're going to kill you, Mr. Beale. We're going to give you the same speech they've given throughout history, and we're going to claim this time it's for a good cause, and we are the saviors of the world. But the truth is, Mr. Beale, we don't like you because you're smarter and better looking than us, and you're connected to God, and we want to hurt you in a ritual and pull your teeth out while you beg for mommy and then kill you.
Are we still in the movie?
We're going to rape your children, and then we're going to kill them too. Okay.
I don't remember this part.
But we're going to do it over and over again. We're going to make copies of your children, and we're going to rape those clones over and over again.
This would be really weird to put in the movie.
See, that's the real speech, Mr. Beale. So, are you going to join us, Mr. Beale?
Okay, yeah. It went a little off track from Network, but...
you know, Mr. Jones, I feel like that was, I think that was great. I think we've seen all we need to see, and we will be getting in contact with your agent.
Do you have Michael Savage's phone number? Because he might be less problematic than you. I think that hit some of the beats of the Network speech. Missed a couple of them. So this keeps going. And in my note, I just have, this is stupid beyond satire.
Okay.
Oh, so you're not going to join us? Well, you're going to fail, and you know you're going to fail. We're going to beat you. We're going to beat humanity. I go, yeah, you're going to beat humanity. Of course we are. We're older. We're stronger. You're weak that you won't join us.
So now you'll notice that this has turned into a dialogue instead of a monologue of this character giving the speech. Now Alex exists within the scene, and he's talking back to the person, which is a fascinating, dramatic turn.
You just can't take it. But a lot more intense than that. I'm not going to show you what it looks like. But let's just say that the guy that stars in The Shining, Jack Nicholson, doesn't hold a candle to what somebody really demon-possessed looks like. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Infowars.com. Tomorrow's news today. It's a demon feast, folks, and you're for dinner.
Somebody there was like, we got to get him off of this. Yeah. We're going to throw on a 90s sitcom theme, and then he's going to have no choice but to switch into, it's a Demon's Feast, people. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Just can't not do it. Freeze frame everything.
Soft, mellow music of him. It's a demon feast.
It's a Demon Feast, everybody. My God, that's beyond satire.
Yeah.
That is just, you can't do that.
No.
You can't do that.
No. 21st. No. You know,
It's coming in at 5 minutes flat. 5 minutes and 21 frames.
It was high level, folks. The highest levels of the New World Order directly, obviously, reach out to us.
That's how it's Tolkien.
And
You know, what am I thinking of? There was another video I did where I kind of faded Alex in the middle of his rant, right? Which one was that? Can't even remember my own videos good. But that might be kind of an approach to take with this one, possibly. Boop, boop, boo, doo. Boop, boop, boo. So, there's, this kind of whole beginning part.
you just need to kind of do a truth and reconciliation.
You just kind of need to do a truth and reconciliation. Like, I don't know if I want to animate anything he's saying there.
An apology tour, and it will make you bigger than you've ever been, and you'll be protected in this dangerous world. Because, you know, they're saying we're dangerous, and the world's going to get more dangerous. And
maybe I'll just do the standard red background with this apple juice.
And I, of course, said no thank you to that. But
probably put a funny face change right there as he's like, no thank you to that.
But, I mean, that's how real this is.
All of this, so from this point to this point, is just pure defensiveness of, like, this sounds so fake, and I know that it's fake because I'm lying. So, like, I got to really try to stress that this is not fake. Ready?
To that. But, I mean, that's how real this is.
That's how real this is.
And of course, it's all on record, too.
It's all on record, too.
But, you know when I tell you that it's real, right?
But, you know, he's, like, arguing with this imaginary, like, skeptic who's sitting next to him, like, that's not real. But it's on record. You know, where's the record? You know, when I tell you stuff, it's real, right? No. And Dan's response there is perfect.
No.
No. So anyway, this is all, like, when I picture this episode in my head, this is still all a blank spot. It's still black. Except just have him sitting in his usual seat maybe do some funny faces. I don't know. I guess we'll have to just lay it out and see how it plays. And then
and he starts talking about how he was in these boardrooms. Okay. And then it turns into him talking about how he lived that scene in Network.
So right there, I think I might want to flash up a video or a picture of like the movie poster or the video cover or something, so that we know. If you haven't seen that movie, if you're not familiar with it, you'd at least know that it's some old movie. Like, it'll make it clear, like, oh, this is like clearly like an older movie.
What?
Where Ned Beatty is
get out of here.
Yeah. And then Alex.
I could even like flash like some pertinent information, like if someone wanted to go look it up, they'd have enough info.
Alex does a line reading.
It's all in a movie.
You know, like in the big boardrooms in D.C., the big boardrooms in New York, the big boardrooms in Los Angeles.
The big boardrooms in D.C., the big boardrooms in Los Angeles, the big boardrooms in New York. We could probably like clip that. It's music.
You know, like in the big boardroom.
In the big boardrooms, in the big boardrooms, in the big boardrooms.
In the big boardrooms in D.C.
I'm just curious, what happens if we line these up? Because his pitch is so consistent. I could get him singing in the big boardrooms.
Like in the big boardrooms. In the big boardrooms in New York, in D.C. The big boardrooms in D.C.
Hold on.
Big boardrooms in D.C. In the big boardrooms.
All right, we're having fun now. We're fucking around. Let's embrace it. Here we go.
In the big boardrooms, big boardrooms.
Big boardrooms, big boardrooms, big boardrooms.
You know, like in the big boardroom, big boardroom, big boardroom.
Ooh, that's gonna like somatically satiate and just turn into music.
Big boardroom, big boardroom, big boardroom, big boardroom, big boardroom.
Now here's a little thing I love to play around with is phase shifting. Phase shifting. So watch, we would make, for example, we would make this one a little bit of a longer loop than that one by like 1 frame. Or with audio tracks, you can move less than a frame. There. So they're staggered. So now, let's turn clipping back on. Wait. Stay woke. Stay be creeping. Do 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 do.
Big boardroom, big boardroom.
Okay, and then it's going to slowly start to phase shift as we copy more. Let's move that over. Oops. There we go. Boop 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 boop. Boo da boop boop boom. Boom 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 boom. Boom 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 boom. Boom 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 boom. Boom 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 boom. All right, let's hear it.
Big boardroom, 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 big boardroom.
And the more you do that, the more it shifts out of phase with itself. Wah, 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 wah. Good. And then we'll do another one here.
Big boardroom, 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 big boardroom.
Oh, beautiful. I love shit like that. Okay, let's unfuck all of that real quick. Undo, undo. It's all undid. Okay. Isn't undo something?
You know, like in the big boardrooms in D.C.
You're never going to hear that the same again. Big boardrooms at the big boardrooms at the big boardrooms.
Get the little Howard Beale speech. Remember Howard Beale and Network? It's that speech. Think you just messed up a business deal, Mr. Beale? Mr. Beale. A business deal.
So this is going to be multiple layers, and the next layer I got to put on is the head, the Alex heads. And the last time I sat and tried to do this, I realized I didn't have any good faces. I didn't have enough, especially for when he goes, "You have meddled." Like, I didn't have any good faces where he was looking in the right direction and he looked angry and looked like he was. Some of these new drawings are they have a very different vibe to them. Because one thing is, like, I'm not good at being consistent with, like, line width. I hear a lot of artists, digital artists, talking about that shit. But it's because I don't type in numbers to adjust the width of lines. And I also just vary day to day on what kind of lines I want to draw, and whether it's going to be like pure dark black or kind of a light fadey pencil black. And so every face is unique and monstrous in its own way. Because when I trace off of a picture, I'm really really simplifying it and trying to only grab like the main big features. And they end up looking like a face, but they don't always look like Alex. I mean, obviously I'm not worried that it's breaking continuity or anything, but I'm starting to just be more aware of, like, when I shift from one face to the other, I kind of have these wildly different styles. Some more detailed than others. So, like, these detailed faces are maybe better for close-ups, right? If I'm doing close-up stuff. Well, this one... Yeah, I mean, these are just classic ones. I've kind of adapted a little bit. Classic AJ faces. I mean, when I say classic, these are some of the first ones I ever drew, and I used... what was the first one? In the Alex Spiza telescope. I can't remember. It's one of these. But these are, like, standard. And then there's, like, just all the variations of him. And he looks grotesque and horrible and stupid in different ways. And I feel like that's fine. I'm actually using my artistic weaknesses. I'm trying to turn them around into my strengths. Like, look at this. Look at this guy. It looks like a different artist drew it. And in a way, a different artist did draw it, because I'm not the same artist I was back in God, when would that have been? That would have probably been a year ago or so or more when I drew the first cartoon. This face right here. And like some of these were for like the second one I did, which was just a couple months later. I've added just a little bit of color. I added eyeballs color, and I've adjusted the mouth and eyes because I need eye lines. I don't want him to be looking off to the left or right. I want him to be looking slightly down camera. So, and that's actually kind of maybe something I should have I should have drawn the heads when they're here in place, but I didn't do that. Let's just try something, because I actually don't know how well this is going to work. But the plan is we put the heads on top. We figure out the adjustment, size and everything, and I can apply that to like all the clips at the end. But basically his head's just going to sit right there on top of him or something. And then I can do some other kinds of animation in addition, such as like tilting his head or something like that. So
Mr. Beale?
Yeah, it's going to have to... I'll have to line it up with the beginning of that clip.
Mr. Beale.
And then let's say this. So he says Mr. Beale. And the attributes to this is actually really easy. I just go Control C, and then I go Alt V. Yeah. And this pastes not the clip, but the effects you added to the clip.
Mr. Beale. Beale.
So, eye lines. I mean, it's fine if he looks off to the side a bit here, but when he says
Beale,
he should look back down the camera. And I don't know if I have any good ones where he looks down the camera. I've always been drawing him kind of wonky, like he's always looking off to the side. And there's one, but his mouth is open. There's one, but he's looking fucking psycho. Okay, let's try this one. And again, I can go Alt V, apply, and now it's the right size and everything, more or less. That might be good.
Beale. Beale.
Mr. Beale. I don't know. I think I'm going to probably go through all of these heads in Krita and just adjust the pupils for some of these. Like this one might be good. Mr. Beale.
Beale. Beale. Mr. Beale.
So, at this rate, it's going to take a long time. Because this is a long-ass thing. All of this. Plus a bit more when he goes into his stuff again.
Mr. Beale.
And especially because the lag that I get, how I can't actually watch this, how it would look in real time. So I kind of have to scrub through it Now I can actually lower the resolution here and get a little more accurate.
Bill.
But it's still only playing at 11 frames a second, 13 frames a second. So it's not giving me like the accurate, how it actually lines up with the audio.
Bill.
And if I do that, I can't really see it very well. So let's try half.
Bill.
I don't know. This might be the slowest way to do it. I could try to lay it out on Krita. So the advantage of Krita is that I can draw onto it as I'm working on it, and I can probably line it up the frames with the words so that it'll be relatively easy to line it up since I already have the words laid out on the timeline here. Right? So actually, in actuality, that's probably a good idea. Rather than trying to do the heads on DaVinci Resolve. Now, the disadvantage of Krita is I can't hear the audio. I have to just imagine the audio in my head. Or I can like listen to it in a separate program as a reference, but it's not going to queue up with it. You can technically do audio in Krita, but it's super buggy, and I think it has a limit to how long it can be. Plus, you can't like it doesn't fucking work. Is basically it, because it will like change where the audio starts playing from depending on what you're doing. So it's not really a good plan to try to do audio on Krita. When I laid out the text, that was actually pretty easy because the program was running pretty smooth because I didn't have a lot of clips in it yet. But now as I'm adding more and more clips, it is lagging. So maybe that's I guess what's going to take longer? Okay, the advantage of doing it right on DaVinci Resolve is that I don't have to do anything else after that. That's the final step. If I do it on Krita, I still have to export those clips and then lay them out on the thing here. But it will be more straightforward because I'll know exactly where every frame should go because they'll line up with the audio. But I'll still have to do some tweaking and adjustments. The best thing would be if I had like a supercomputer that had the power to play this without lagging, without dropping frames. Because then I could just sort of play with it and just play it and just move the clips around and decide which head needs to go where.
Bill.
But with this, it's just harder. I don't know why it's harder. I think it's just because of the performance of the program, maybe. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right. Well, let's listen to this silly thing about Harrison's. And maybe we'll start trying to knock out a couple things on the to-do list. All right? That sounds like a plan.
Knowledge fight. Dan and Jordan, I am sweating. KnowledgeFight.com. It's time to pray.
I have great respect for Knowledge Fight.
Knowledge Fight. I'm sick of them posing as if they're the good guys, saying we are the bad guys. Knowledge Fight.
Dan and Jordan. Knowledge Fight.
Need money. Andy in Kansas. Andy. Stop it. Andy in Kansas. Andy. It's time to pray. Andy in Kansas, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Alex. I'm a first-time caller. I'm a huge fan. I love your work.
Knowledge Fight.
KnowledgeFight.com. I love you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Knowledge Fight. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
We're a couple dudes like to sit around, worship at the altar of Selene, talk a little bit about Alex Jones. Did I say sit around? I think I might have.
Indeed, we are. Dan, you did say sit around, I believe.
Shit.
Yeah.
Off my game because we're remotely recording again.
Every time we do it remotely, despite the fact that we spent 2 years of our lives remotely speaking to people, completely lose it again.
Yeah, just out of the rhythm. But hey, we're here. We're sitting. We're doing a Wacky Wednesday episode, and that's why we're doing this remotely, because there's some tech that is added to it. There's no situation. You're not back in central Missouri or anything like that.
No. And I mean that with offense to Missouri.
Offense taken on their behalf.
Good.
But I realize because I slipped up because we're recording remotely, I stepped on your ability to ask what's your bright spot. So I'll ask you.
Oh, well, yeah, I will tell you this. I was not stoked that we skipped over it because my bright spot is Interstellar. My bright spot is a supernova.
Oh, I
My
thought you meant the
bright spot
movie
is-
Interstellar.
No, not the movie Interstellar.
Oh.
How old is McConaughey? I don't know. No, my wife is coming home 4 days early.
Whoa!
Yeah,
That's great.
I don't have to be alone for an extra 4 days, or for 4 days lesser than I was about to.
That's pretty
Right.
big. Congratulations.
It's huge. I'm very excited. It's the biggest news in my life in a long time.
So you just decided, like, I've had enough artist retreating.
I think
I've gotten the art done.
I think there's a certain amount of sometimes you're in a summer camp mood for a 2-week summer camp.
Mhm.
And sometimes you're in a summer week camp for a 1-week summer camp and you find out you're at a 2-week summer camp and you call your parents and you're like, I should come home. And your parents are like, fuck you. Right? But see, Devin's an adult. So
Okay, so Veronica, I didn't see any of your. Well, I saw some of them, but I didn't see the ones that after you said Drake was cooked so bad. My chat wasn't working. Can you still hear me even? Have I seriously been live for an hour? God, I haven't done anything. We haven't even started the podcast. It's not playing very well. I'm going to download it so I can play it off my desktop. But I'm sorry, I wasn't even looking, and I feel bad you're typing. What could it be for 1,000? Yeah, exactly. Maybe another documentary. Whether you do a cold up or not, remember to click the titles Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, DJ Danarchy. Maybe a close up on the studio. That's an idea of like maybe a behind the shoulder camera, because I guess maybe that's a little foreshadowing to the camera that comes in later, that Alex is on a film set. Okay, I can see the chat working now. Peppercorn is here. But yeah, like maybe I feel like the camera, there's a far away camera kind of coming in, and you see all the studio stuff around. You see a view of the set and the other camera guys. And then maybe you could do some close-up shots of like okay, you dropped your keyboard. Yeah, I get it. Very good. Thank you. No problem. 47 minutes? What? It's downloaded. Look at this. 23 minutes of download a goddamn MP3. It's 24 megabytes. Oh boy. I'm just gonna save as Boom Mic Guy. Zeros and ones. On the Dalek animation, there's a zoom into the Mayo Clinic. Do the same thing with the studio that made the movie Network. But would that go like at the very beginning? Because when we sort of transport to the studios, kind of in the middle of it, right? It's like in that, it's right where we get to this green part. In the middle. The green is Alex, and the orange is Dan and Jordan. By the way, that's how I color-coded it. Dan and or Jordan. This whole preamble, this is the first minute before he starts the network speech. But we could do an exterior shot. The InfoWars studio. Which, from what I recall, it's just like a fucking office. Oh, shit. My mic wasn't even on. I was kind of just like babbling about a lot of shit. And I looked down and my microphone is muted. The production company for the movie network was MGM. So then I was thinking about how the MGM studios are slightly infamous. Trying to get a look at them. And yeah, I was just talking about Los Angeles and Hollywood. Lot of weird stuff. A lot of hangman bullshit with the Hays codes. And I think going to Hollywood to get away from the Hays codes, was it? Or was it that Hollywood was enforcing the Hays codes? Hays codes, Hollywood. That is an interesting subject because I think it ties into obviously the kind of puritanical culture and dominance, but also the hugely racist, anti-black, and anti-indigenous bias that existed throughout everything. Set of industry guidelines for self-censorship that applied to most motion pictures released by major studios in the U.S. in these years. Don'ts. Pointed profanity. By either title or lip. This includes the words God, Lord, Jesus, and Christ. Hell, S-O-B, sob. I didn't know that I remember hearing that S-O-B for so many years as a kid, thinking like, how's that a bad word? And because I didn't know what it stood for. Damn, Gawad, and every other profane and vulgar expression, however it may be spelled. 2. Any licentious and suggestive nudity in fact or in silhouette, or any lecherous and licentious notice thereof by other characters. The illegal traffic in drugs. Any inference of sex perversion. White slavery. What? Oh, sexual enslavement of white women, particularly associated with accounts of women enslaved in Middle Eastern harems. Wow. That's not fun. Miscegenation. Marriage or admixture between people who are members of different races. Yeah, that's the racist one. You cannot depict people of different races being in love. Sex hygiene. Do not wash. Because technically there's nothing there to wash. Because it cannot be mentioned. Scenes of actual childbirth, in fact, or in silhouette. They have to... I mean, in fact... It's not... I mean, it's technically closer to a silhouette than it is a fact when we see it depicted on screen. Children's sex origin. Hey! You know what? I'm so fine with this one. This is the one that can stay. It could be called the don'ts. Yeah, great. Ridicule of the clergy. Ridicule of the clergy. Can you imagine being part of a group where ridicule of the you and your friends is one of the codes that all motion pictures must follow. Willful offense to any nation, race, or creed. Yeah, that's very funny doublespeak right there. Because they'll be like, I wouldn't say anything bad about anyone. Black, white, red, yellow, green, purple. For me, they're just people. Yeah, right. And the be carefuls. Be careful when using the flag. Arson. Methods of smuggling. Branding. Ow. Sedition. Open marriage. The institution of marriage. Sorry, not open marriages. Man and woman in bed together. Ooh, you have to be careful because you might imply sexual stuff. Excessive or lustful kissing, particularly when one character or the other is heavy. Heavy. And then it leaks to villain. Heavy. We are way off track. Is my goddamn MP3 downloaded? No, it's literally not. 20 seconds. Hays Code. Don't be a code. Take your stupid rules, except for that one rule. That one rule was a pretty good rule. We'll stay with that. But all the others are stupid crap. Stupid crap. That's all it is. Except that one rule. That one rule was really good that I liked and I agreed with it. And I will fucking never back down from that. Okay, Pep. I think another code should be that if cats are in movies, blur over their butthole when they're walking around. Just for the cat's own modesty, you know? And they should also put a Hays Code that you have to have good actors. Believable dialogue. What if people treated eating the way that we treat sex? And you'd have to go around being like, oh, me? I don't get hungry. How rude. Why would you ask if I was hungry? That's foodie harassment. I choose not to eat as a member of the clergy. And then they just would never show up to meals. You'd never see them eating, but they would eat in secret. There would be whole like restaurants and food services where it's just like a private little cubby hole, and they just like throw food in there, and you're like, nom, nom, satisfy your wicked desires for dirty food, and then you eat it, and you're like, oh, okay, eating. Just now, I was having sex. I was fucking some guy. What? Ooh, that reminds me of those Bizarro World sketches where it would just like opposite everything. What's going on with the chat? Come on, chat. Fuck, dude. All I want to do is download this MP3 and listen to it, and it's stuck on 99.99%. This is fucked. I just lost. All right, I don't know what's going on. My internet's all out. I don't think I'm even streaming. If I am streaming somehow, then how is that working? Because I literally can't open any. Okay, now I can see the chat. I don't know if I'm still connected because I don't have any indication of my status. Because in order to stream on a separate program, and it might say that I'm streaming, and it does, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually up on YouTube. Unless I have this other window open. And it's just been doing this for fucking ever. Disconnect sometimes. God, dude, this is a disaster. This is a fucking disaster. I swear, I'm just trying to download this podcast so we can listen to it. Fuck it. We're gonna listen on my phone through the microphone. We're gonna listen to it through my phone, through the microphone, because it's already downloaded. Fuck you, internet. I don't like you anymore. You're not my friend. You can't come to my birthday party. You can't come to my birthday party, internet.
Knowledge fight. And Jordan, I'm sweating.
All right, let's skip a little bit into it.
Despite the fact that we spent 2 years of our lives remotely speaking.
What's your bright spot? So I'll ask you.
Well, yeah, I will tell you this. I was not stoked that we skipped over it because my bright spot is Interstellar. My bright spot is
Take it back or go straight to hell.
Oh, I thought you meant the movie Interstellar.
No, not the movie Interstellar. How old is McConaughey? I don't know. No, my wife is coming home 4 days early.
Whoa!
Yeah,
that's great.
I don't have to be alone for an extra 4 days, or for 4 days lesser than I was about to.
That's pretty big. Congratulations!
It's huge. I'm very excited. It's the biggest news in my life in a long time.
So you just decided, like, I've had enough artist retreating.
I think
I've gotten the art done.
I think there's a certain amount of sometimes you're in a summer camp mood for a 2-week summer camp, and sometimes you're in a summer week camp for a 1-week summer camp, and you find out you're in a 2-week summer camp, and you call your parents, and you're like, "Oh, I should come home," and your parents are like, "Fuck you, right?" But see, Devin's an adult. So it's fine. She can come home. She can just move her flight up. Whenever she can just go. It's so easy. It's so easy.
That is really an artistic thing too. Is like just deciding when you're done. You know?
Yeah, and why you're like, hey, I'm done here, and then there's a part of your head that's like, no, if I leave, people will be all mad at me or something. But the reality is, if you're not having a good time, everybody's like, oh yeah, go. That's great. Go have a good time.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy for you, and I'm glad you'll be not sitting there alone at the house.
Yes,
That's
I'm
good.
excited. What's your bright spot?
My bright spot, I'm just gonna cut the bullshit. My bright
Cut
spot is that we're doing this episode today. It's been too long since we've had a wacky Wednesday that actually felt like this is debatably wacky.
Straight up wacky, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's been too little time spent on stuff that's kind of just fun, and I kind of regret even telling you about it on our last episode. I wish I could just present this to you with no context, sight unseen, but today we're going to talk about Chase's short film. Chase Kaiser's short film.
I'm just beyond excited. I don't even know what to say. Here's the thing. Because I agree with you. I wish I had no idea at all about what was coming, because I haven't been able to stop thinking about the fact that Brendan from Home Movies made a home movie, and we're about to watch the whole movie.
Yeah. And however long this is that critical deconstruction of that home movie.
100%.
The actual thing is about 5 minutes long, so you can look at the runtime of this episode and figure out how much longer.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So we're looking down at hour 3 right now. I'm telling you, this is what he's trying to say.
It's entirely possible. The video of this is available elsewhere, but the reason we're recording this remotely is so we can watch it together and record and pause. To get your feelings, get your thoughts about some stuff. But yeah, I'm just pumped. I'm thrilled to see how you enjoy this, and I'm going to pull it up right now. Here we go, Jordan. So this is it's called 2084.
All right.
I believe. I don't know.
Opening on a scene of a desolate Texas Capitol, I believe. Austin, I would assume.
Yeah.
That is the Capitol building. I've been there. I'm not that ridiculous.
There's a fog in the air. There's burnt out cars. It's very post disaster. But there is
Fallout 3 kind of thing. Yeah.
But there is a Texas flag proudly flying. I don't know if 2084 is actually the title of this, but it is as good as the title. Because
this piece of art is now the audience's, Dan.
Yeah. So let's enter a darkened space.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex Jones.
Okay, so these soldiers or these gunmen people have entered into what is clearly the shutdown InfoWars studios. Someone flips the power switch, hits the breaker, and what comes on screen but a 1950s looking young Alex Jones with a wonderful combed over hair, suit and tie, looking sharp.
It is uncanny. First off, the animation style. Yeah, I didn't know. Obviously, this is AI because it kind of looks like that old rotoscoped lens thing where it was clearly a guy who filmed just some dudes running and then drew orc shit on it and called it a movie. You know, it feels very much like that. It's all herky jerky. Everything is wrong. And then Edward R. Alex Murrow here is fucking. Oh, Edward Emmerich Murrow. There we go. I got it.
Alex in this this shot of them like returning on the InfoWars studio is embodying a version of himself he never was.
Yeah,
like he wasn't ever.
alive when he would have been.
He is very clearly coded as much younger. So like he's like his younger self, but an idealized version of it. And also, if you pay attention, it's in the shadows a little bit, but you'll notice that these people who came in with guns and stormed the studio are now like behind cameras. Using cameras that are videotaping an empty desk that has a bunch of sheets of paper on it, and then behind it a video screen playing Alex as a younger person.
Well, I mean, I think he's very clearly mad at the crew in this regard. Yes, 100%.
It's absurd.
The year is 2084.
Is it?
I have been gone for many years, and until now, Deep State. If you are receiving this transmission,
Whoa! Hold on.
Yeah.
All right. So we switched from the distance on the screen kind of and the studio thing.
The original visual was you're seeing Alex's young self played on the background of the InfoWars studio backdrop screen. So like there's the desk and you're walking into the studio. Now we are just seeing the video of young Alex.
And every aspect of the like uncanny valley that you could kind of gloss over in the previous scene through the studio. Now that we're just seeing the AI version of Alex Jones from the 1950s, this is horrifying.
the archives of the InfoWars Command Center, located in what is now the uninhabitable city of Austin, Texas. Artificial intelligence has advanced and been weaponized by a global New World Order. Despite its use by servants of evil at the highest levels, discoveries have been made which have made it possible to broadcast this transmission to you at this point in history, in your own timeline. It's too late for me and other patriots to change our fate.
Okay, so we've got AI has been taken over by evil, and so the evil globalists do all this bad stuff with it. But also, somehow, AI has enabled people in 2084 to send this message back in time, even though it's too late for them in their timeline.
Okay.
They're all dead. They're all gonna die.
All right. This is kind of what I'm struggling with, because I got most of the exposition, which fairly concise. I appreciate that. Thanks, Chase. But I'm not sure. Is this Alex from the past talking to the future?
No.
Or is this Alex from the future talking to the past?
This is Alex from the future talking to the past.
But it's Alex from the future who looks like Alex from a past that never existed talking to the actual past that we are currently in.
Which implies that Alex in the future would have had to use AI to down-age himself in order to make himself more palatable to the people that he's sending the video back to the past to.
Right. So, I mean, in a way, these people would be running in going, who the fuck is this guy?
Is this... Did Alex send a message from before he was born?
Right?
What's happening?
Is this great-grandpa Alex Jones? What is going on here?
Yeah.
So,
somehow AI has allowed for information to be transmitted over time or something like that.
Sure. Okay. I'm back in.
Maybe we'll develop the premise. Who knows?
You can change the course of your own future with the information I'm about to reveal to you. Shortly after the election in 2024, there was a global economic crisis. The crisis was used as an excuse to launch World War III in order to catalyze economic development and establish a one-world government and monetary system. The globalists orchestrated the collapse of the financial markets, spreading fear and chaos.
So far, so good. I mean, this is just basic InfoWars-y kind of stuff, you know?
Sure.
It's going to lead to an artificial economic crisis that the globalists are going to use to bring in the New World Order, blah, blah, blah.
See, here's the weird part about this. And this, again, I think this is, something's off about this whole thing. You know, like in the post-apocalyptic future, or after the election of 2024, right? Everybody's marching in lockstep, clearly in a dystopian, horrible future.
Oh.
But then there's these long tables brought out, and everyone is eating massive amounts of food. Everyone is being fed really, really well. Now, I don't know.
You're saying that they have it too good?
I mean, I'm saying in terms of dystopian futures, everybody has got a full belly. And I don't think that's the case for most dystopian futures, including the dystopian present.
Well, but you see how it's kind of like there's a lot of fog in the air, and
That is true. That is true.
it looks it looks like a bummer, even though there is food.
Things are not shiny, but everybody can eat. That is the trade-off that all ravens must make.
It's very confusing. Anyway,
Banks closed their doors, currencies lost their value, and people were left desperate and vulnerable. In the ensuing chaos, the World War III was ignited.
the World War III was ignited. This seems to me like that's like like an AI reading error. The World War III was ignited.
The World War III. The war was ignited. The World War III was ignited. The AI put together the World War III because it treated World War III as one noun as opposed to,
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know. But so World War III, we see a vast array of soldiers, just a big old battle scene.
Not as a war between nations, but as a war orchestrated by the global elite to consolidate power. Billions were consumed as AI was used to fill the void of domestic labor. Soldiers marched to the front lines, while back home...
So wait. Hold on. Let's pause it real quick. Real quick.
I figured you might have a little bit of an issue with this.
See, here's where I'm struggling with, okay? So AI has gotten rid of labor. It's replaced labor.
Right.
Okay? But at no point in time did AI replace soldiers? Were they not laborers?
Right. So in this, I'm gonna stretch my brain.
Okay, stretch it up.
So I'm playing sort of a Chase's advocate here.
Don't catch Alex calling him.
I think that there's no need for AI to take over, but the globalists wanted to take over labor and domestic work and all that stuff. And so what they did is they didn't use the robots for warfare so they could have an excuse to make humans go do that while they use robots to take over. Now, I'm bringing a lot of my own analysis to the piece here. This is not necessarily spelled out, but that's kind
subtext.
Yeah. Of what
Okay.
he's saying. But I do think it is kind of dumb that, like, if you're organizing a society and it's like, well, we can make robots do one of these things. Youth is the most dangerous.
Well, I mean, if your robots are so good at both of those things, you can just split them in half and they can do both of those things. That's the idea, right? Less people, more stuff.
If you get to the point where, like, the entire workforce is automated by these shiny red robots, the point where you can make more of them, and it wouldn't be a limitation that we only have X amount of robots. Really?
What's the point of taking over the labor force if you're not going to use it to build shit?
Yeah, seems dumb.
That does seem dumb.
So anyway, humans are going off to war, and robots are farming.
Totally makes sense.
Farms and businesses. Human workers were replaced, and unemployment skyrocketed, leaving people dependent on government rations and AI-controlled services. After the surface of the Earth was rendered almost completely uninhabitable by nuclear radiation, prisoners of war, political prisoners, and draftees were sent to deep underground military bases.
Okay, so there's a nuclear war, and the surface of the Earth is uninhabitable. And so prisoners, political dissidents, and draftee bases. What about, like, survivors? What about just, like...
There are no survivors. There are only the people that are ready to fight.
There's only
what, is there a
dissidents and
conscientious
draftees?
objectors area?
I don't know. It seems like they're focusing a little bit on that part of the fantasy.
Here's a bad job because they just don't understand what it is. Because they're like, people became dependent on government rations and AI services. And it's like, dude, people would like these services. They wouldn't become dependent. We don't have them now. If they're run by AI, why are we fighting?
Yeah, that is. Well, maybe that's on the cutting room floor. Maybe Chase has an explanation for that, much like the farm robots.
AI is evil. That's the explanation. AI is evil. It's evil. Gotcha. All right, I'm back in.
So we're in these bases, right? And they've got enlistees, draftees, or whatever. They got political prisoners. They got dissidents. And they're down in these bases. And here's what happens.
These bases, sprawling labyrinths beneath the Earth, became the last refuge for humanity. But these weren't just shelters. They were places of horror. Inside, these prisoners were exposed to DMT drip. Blood was artificially pumped through their bodies. This was an effort to possess humanity with hidden knowledge that was thought to be able to allow the unification of the species.
Well, hold on. Already gotta take a step back. I think that if we're living in underground bases, we're pretty unified at that point. I think that a lot of the petty differences that humanity has with each other might become less important once the surface of the Earth is uninhabitable and we're living in. I don't know if we would need to do DMT drips and all this to try and find mystical knowledge to try and unite humanity.
Where are they getting all this goddamn DMT from is my next question.
Well, they plan ahead.
I mean, but also, your point is right. Like, what would they be fighting over huddled together in these caves? Like, that guy stole my bike? No bikes no more. No more bikes. There are no bikes to steal.
I am fascinated by this, I guess. That why would you do that at that point? Like, why would you have DMT drips to talk to super intelligences to solve a problem that probably isn't the biggest problem right now?
Also looking at this, all right, it suggests that they're in underground caverns, obviously.
Yep.
They're put in drips, obviously. Demons, obviously. All of this is the case. Again, this is a horrible world. Perfectly laundered linens.
Oh, yeah.
Perfectly dressed. Everyone's skin is amazing.
Well,
this is the best possible dystopia ever.
Well, it is AI, but there's a laundry room. There's a DMT stockpile. They got everything they need.
Everyone's hair is well done.
Yeah, there's shampoo.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, no. I mean, what are we, animals?
Come on.
We're doing all this DMT. We've got shampoo.
So the people are put on these DMT drips in order to make contact with higher consciousness and unify humanity, but it goes bad.
The globalists, in their twisted pursuit of power, developed the technology to stop aging through this very process of sending people to communicate with interdimensional beings of much higher intelligence. And as a result of this success, they believed that by sending people to a higher dimension, they could unlock the secrets of the universe and seize total power for themselves. But instead, subjects of these experiments began to become possessed by these interdimensional beings.
Oh no!
Ooh,
shit!
So close! So close!
We thought we could get immortality, but unfortunately we've become possessed by demons. Now, here's the issue. Alex believes that this is happening, and has happened, and is going on in the world, not in some dystopia.
I can, like, whenever it's playing the video that they're talking about, it's just, I'm not processing it one bit. It's in one ear, out the other. That happens to me a lot with Knowledge Fight. Like, I can hear him speaking, but I'm just completely tuning it out. And then when Dan and Jordan, like, repeat back what he was just saying, then I'm like, oh, dang. That's crazy. You don't even notice. So many of these, actually, I mostly remember it from Dan and Jordan and their reaction to it. And I have to go back and, like, listen again to what he actually said. Because it just won't even, maybe it's a defense mechanism, probably. It's just like, don't listen to anything this guy has to say. It's literally the calories that it takes to operate your brain could be spent elsewhere. So anyway, that's what's happening right now. I don't know anything about this stupid.
It makes sense. No, it does. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. You know what I mean?
That's kind of what makes this interesting. And that's what makes this actually something that I watched and I was like, haha, you asshole. You know, like
yeah, and it's short enough to not hate it.
there's
It's baffling nonstop.
it's really stupid, and a lot of it is incredibly dumb things. There's some pieces of it that don't make sense, like from a A to B to C plot kind of thing. But thematically, as like a piece of work, it's at least more coherent than so much of the shit that InfoWars puts out.
It is, and the exposition makes no sense, and yet I understand what they're going for.
Yeah,
I guess.
I don't
For
think
the
it's
most part.
successful, but you know what they're going for.
No, let me throw this out at you, because this is something that's very important to me with all of these stories, and it's something that I've noticed. And it's something that a lot of the authors don't recognize might be something that they're maybe bringing to the story a lot. But all of these people do all of this work to contact higher levels of being, which they describe as higher levels of being, and all of this shit. And yo, guys, here's all this cool stuff we're gonna give you, and then they go away, and then they're like, now we're going to double cross these higher levels of beings just to become immortal, right? And then it goes wrong.
Right.
It doesn't go wrong because they're like listening to the guys and being like, holy shit, congratulations, us. Whatever you say, you're a higher level of being.
I think the implication is that the higher levels of being would mess you up eventually because they're bad, right? I mean, like I think.
Well, then they're not higher levels
Hello,
of being.
Eric.
Well, they are in a sense.
Welcome.
I mean, they have magical powers and they can possess people and shit.
Well, then don't fuck with magic. This is a basic morality tale, then.
But if you have to unify humanity in the underground bases, what are you gonna do? You got to put them on DMT drips in order to find immortality, and then demons show up.
Okay, I feel like if we were having an argument before the dystopia, I would have the upper hand. But now that we're in the dystopia, I gotta follow you on this one. I don't know what I'm talking about. You're probably right. Yeah.
So people are sitting up in their hospital beds, looking like zombies. There is a 28 days later kind of feel to this, and so it all goes bad.
And we're subjugated under a new world order named One World Nation. These demonic entities thrive on fear and pain, and so they turn underground bases into hellish prisons.
So now the zombies have literal devil horns and red eyes.
They thrive on pain and horror. And they grow horns, and they've got gold.
And they all somehow found pitchforks.
It's like, the horns grow hair, right? But
It
nothing.
appears that way, yeah.
Nothing for the receding hairline. Nothing for this guy. He's got a lot that you could help out. Maybe he would be happier with the full head of hair, demon people.
Right. Well, can't always get what you want.
Streams of the tormented echoed endlessly. Satanic elites began to bask in various states of euphoria. Only those who were pure of heart were able to defy this process.
Pure of heart.
Satanic elites reveled in the demon possession.
Kudos. What are they doing? If by they you mean these two guys here, they are holding a boom mic for the film, and I call it a film, Network, to which the distinguished actor Alex Jones will be delivering a monologue. Culminating in the famous catchphrase, "It's a demon face, folks." Bye, bye, bye. All right. See you later. See you later, buddy. Catch you on the flip. Okay. So I think I might want to color correct the first one here a little bit to give it a little more orange glow like this one has. Just the head placements. Maybe we'll add some more head placements because this is a nice like kind of half and half angle to go with because it's got the it's got both this and it's got the backstage portion in the one shot. In case I want to do a split view, but I can still zoom in on, do a close up on these guys. What I want to do is also do like more of an eye roll. So that's going to be an animation of rolling eyes. It's kind of tricky to try to get that animation, or to get the expression looking right. It's gonna be tough to do. Hello, Dusk VRC tuning in. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in, drop out. What was that old saying? Tune in and tune out? It was something like, I don't even remember what that was referring to. But it was something to do with drugs, right? It was a drug thing. Sick drawing. Thank you. Glad you like the drawing. If you are a connoisseur of films, you might recognize what it's from. Don't know if it's animation or drawing. It's both. And animation is just a lot of drawings, but yeah, this is basically the layout. I'm kind of doing. I'm just doing some shots, you know. I'm making just these like 2 to 3 frame animation shots that are mostly going to be still images, but I'm going to have like a little bit of face movement for some close-ups, like that. But yeah, thank you. If you might recognize this if you like the film Network. Now, I personally have never seen this movie. I'm just going off of screenshots that I've captured. But that's what we're doing. That's what we're up to. I've got this, and you know what I still need to do? That guy here, I need to draw. That's Alex. That's going to be Alex also. It's going to be Alex talking to Alex. And I need a view. I need an image from. Wait, come on, there's some color. I need an image as if the camera was here, pointing this. Oops. Pointing this way. Right, so that's the big Dick and Balls film camera, and that I need a view from this way, which I don't think I have a reference picture of what that looks like, except for the real close up. It's just a super up in his face like that. It's like, are you ready for your close up? And the actor, in my opinion, does a very fine job of being completely wigged out and scared of this crazy screaming dude. And all he manages to whimper out is, "But why me?" Because 'Cause you're on television, dummy. So anyway, we need a camera at this angle, and I have to sort of invent what that's going to look like. I could probably use the same background-ish colors, you know? Ooh-wee. So, those were a bunch of fireworks going off. Nothing to be alarmed of. Let's see. Group all this together. What is this? That's nothing. So I'm going to group all that. Fireworks are a regular thing here. Ooh, okay. See, how am I going to block these guys in here? First of all, let's do a save as. D network. DJ on set. Okay. We're cooking something up now. Yes. We're gonna close this all up. Yes, when actors are good at acting afraid. Yeah. And that's hard to do. Because have you ever seen, like, it's the way kids act in, like, you know, their friend's high school movie or something, or a college film, where you're just so happy to be doing acting. You get a lot of it from, like, extras. And they're like, okay, everybody act. You're really angry. You're angry now. And then, like, you'll see one guy, like, just so fucking happy. He doesn't even realize he's, like, got the biggest smile on his face. Like, I'm having so much fun and being in this movie. And you can just see it on him. But, like, they're supposed to be, like, rioting or something and, like, pissed off. Yeah. That's when acting afraid fails. But, yeah. It's also the immersion. Now, Alex takes it a different direction. He plays Howard Beale as more of a defiant. He's like, oh yeah, you gonna be? Like he puts himself in as like, oh yeah, and then it only happens for a very brief second. All right. Okay, so now is a thing I have to do called blocking. Now, actually, in my mind, I almost had these guys like way up in the foreground, like this. Let's see how that works. Because the scale, they look a little bit too big to be up too close. So if I just stand like that, but I want to be able to like move, like zoom in past them, you know, so we have shots of this, but then it's zoomed in more, right, to that, but then zoom out, and then we have these guys here. This could almost make like this could be like a good look for the thumbnail. Good thumbnail piece. Because one thing I can do also, put a transform mask on this one. I can actually zoom this in, and then we can point it a little more like that. Try to get a little bit of everything in the frame. So I think I want to have Jordan, maybe he'll put his arm down. Emulating focus. Yeah, that's a good thing. I was doing that. I did that with the Gorilla one, where you blur the background and sharpen the foreground and then flip it. Reverse, do that. Yeah, I can do that. I can do that in several ways. I can do that here on Krita, but I can also do that on the video editor. Which will probably end up looking better, probably, or at least be a bit easier to get it smooth. But yeah, that's a good idea. Like, for example, we'll put these two guys in a group, and we'll add a blur, a filter mask with a blur. One thing that's just harder with Krita can animate, but it can't really animate these masks very well. Yeah, this is all Krita right now. But I also use DaVinci Resolve for a lot of the later stages of the video. But I can do quite a bit in Krita. It's basically like Photoshop, I think. I've never used Photoshop, but from what I hear, whatever they're doing in those, this obviously is more geared towards painting and not photos, but you can put photos in here and fuck around with them. Your chat is lagging behind 10 minutes. Oh yeah, I bet. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, one thing is though, is you can see the chats that I'm responding to when I'm talking. So at least, hopefully I'm not too confusing. But thank you for chatting. I do appreciate it. I do want it. No problem. I wonder if my chats come through at the same time. Because, I mean, on my little chat thing here we have on the window, I don't know if this is reflective of the chat that you can see from your home computer. I'm really not sure. But anyway, this is the blur filter mask. So here's what I can do. I've figured out a little hack for animating this. On a filter mask, you can create a keyframe. Okay? And that's just the full filter mask. I can also make a duplicate keyframe. And then I can take, say, like the soft airbrush, set it to erase, and I'm just going to gently just kind of take one layer off of that blur. So I'm basically erasing the blur effect. And then go here, make another keyframe, and I just do it again. Just take a little layer off of it, just like painting the blur away. And it's kind of coming in, right? Uh-oh. Did that not make a new keyframe? See, it's getting finicky. It should have made a third keyframe for me. But it didn't do that. I can keyframe it. I can do so much there. I mean, there's a million things. There's another thing called like a clone mask. And all this shit. But one thing I can't do, which is probably not like Blender or anything, is that I'm not able to go in to the parameters of this filter mask and like animate those as splines, which I could do in DaVinci Resolve. So I can't just take the filter, that slider, and animate that. The way I can animate it is just this weird hack where you go in and just gradually erase the filter. So on one hand, it might be kind of a slightly better or different, like, artistic look too, because it's not going to be a true lens capture. It's going to be like the blurriness is painted away in the foreground while the background gets painted blurry, right? So I can basically take this filter mask once I've finished this animation, which, look, I've got to just wait for this thing to just process. And because this is such a big, actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to collapse that down. So I'll collapse this group. Now, there are some things you can animate. This does have animation splines that kind of work like the 3D model stuff with Blender. And that will be the transform mask. So I can do like the free transformation. As soon as I try to do any kind of weird like warp transform, it just freezes up. It's just like way too much processing power for my computer to deal with it. So I just usually do that. It's on DaVinci Resolve, the video editor. Everything, all this shit just works like 1,000 times better and smoother. However, Krita just can give you that hand look and touch because I'm using a pen and on a thing, you know, like this little pen here. And sometimes I like it. And I like to stay in Krita. I like working in Krita for the most part. It's more fun to use. So yeah, this is a half and half kind of thing. I really need both of them. And especially DaVinci Resolve for the editing, for the sound. This doesn't have any kind of audio editor. I'm going to go ahead and save. And reload.
That was going on in these underground bunkers. Who were they?
I was gonna. Where were you? How do you? Were you? Did they broadcast it somewhere? Were you there?
But like, those demons looked like zombies, right? I mean, like, yeah, there's a real zombie feel to this whole thing. Were there zombie elites? Like, how do you become? What does a higher level look like? Who's reveling in this?
Oh, they have an extra health bar. It's a barrier. Usually, it has a different color.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And so you got the Pure of Heart.
That was where I raised my hand.
Yeah.
I have a strong question about these one criteria, what purity, who is deciding what level of purity we're calling pure. All right. And then two, precisely how does this purity apply in a survival scenario?
Okay.
Whoa.
Difficult to say because it's not explained.
Whoa, you just witnessed a real life territorial dispute. Yeah, unfortunately, her big brother really likes this spot too. And he pretty much wins on the domination thing. You're a jerk. Look at you. Buddy. He's doing the Sphinx pose. Just like that. Oh boy. Did y'all see that? Did you catch that? Did you see that? Violence? I didn't even, like, I saw it coming, but I didn't even quite see the attack. But you could hear it too. They're hissing at each other. It's sad, you know, to see siblings fight like that. It's sad.
fundamental.
Oh boy, kitty cat. Oh, brain. Oh, internet. Why
Question that I don't believe that this documentary answers, and that is, the pure of heart, was everybody subjected to the good spirit's abilities to get in? What you should do is you should reorganize society in such a way that a new rite of passage when someone reaches it is that they are given these drugs in ceremonial ways, and if you turns out a bad spirit comes into you, we just decide we're locking you up for life. You're going to jail for life. Yep, that's probably the way to go.
Chagrined. That is what is going on right here.
And really, what I'm talking about is a reemergence of Western values. I'm talking
absolutely.
I'm talking about the Enlightenment philosopher to root out demons. All right, so anyway.
Amidst this nightmare, a few brave souls resisted. Instead of being possessed by demonic entities, they were possessed.
It does imply, because of the DMT drips, but also I think just based purely on the way that it's being, like, the words, you could say that if everybody was given the DMT drips, great. Then it has to be that good spirits came in. Yeah. Some people might not have. And in that case, maybe the Holy Spirit just came to them because they were resisting demons or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it kind of feels like there's a plot hole here where anybody who wants to be a character in the story has to be doing DMT. If you're just a guy, then you're just kind of like eating potato chips, I guess.
Yeah. And so we got Owen Schroyer here. I believe this is Harrison Smith, Owen Schroyer, and Chase Geiser. I believe these are the Knights of the InfoWars Roundtable.
Oh, that's who. Okay, I was gonna say the faces seemed pretty detailed, but I didn't know that they were.
The one in the center is definitely Owen Schroyer. The one
now I see it.
On the right side of the screen is definitely Harrison, and I think that the one on the left is Chase. So
my God.
They have become 2084 Future Commandos.
Okay, now I don't know. I'm not going to say this confidently. I actually am gonna move my little window because we're recording this so I can see his face a little bit closer up. Yeah, I think I can confirm that Chase hates Harrison Smith because I think he specifically asked the AI to make him more rat-faced. More rat-faced than normal.
I thought you meant because Chase's character is clearly targeting Harrison's back.
But that's funny. I didn't see that. No. Chase's helmet doesn't fit. He's got a little rat face.
I don't know.
Oh, boy.
So, they are the ones who have been possessed by the Holy Spirit, and they are the good, pure of heart that are fighting in the future.
And able to escape to establish a resistance.
So real quick, if you notice, there's a zoom in on a face of another future soldier, and that is very clearly Rob Dew. A younger Rob Dew, I believe, is another one of the soldiers in the future.
Wow.
And so here we get a battle scene where they have a nice little version of holding out for a hero.
Are they playing the music during the battle in 2084, or are they playing the music over top of it?
I think it's part of Alex's presentation that he has sent back to the past.
Gotcha.
He plays a cover over.
He's a showman to the beginning.
Yeah. So there we got the old-fashioned artillery genius.
I just heard it, yeah.
Yep. So Alex loves that. Old-fashioned artillery genius.
He's a showman to the beginning.
Yeah. Old-fashioned artillery genius.
I just heard it, yeah.
Yep. So Alex loves that. So we've got just battle scenes of destruction And then we've got Owen Schroyer saying, Sea of Commandos walking into battle. And you got Chase Geyser, Rob Agueros, and I believe Darren McBreen, maybe Kellen McBreen, because his son also works there. But then you get Harrison Smith again in the background, another commando. This is just, this is fun.
Oh my God, this is.
Think of this.
Hey, I just realized I can do animation curves on a filter mask. The only thing I can change is the opacity, though. But that's all I need, really. I didn't know I could do that. So, all that shit I was saying before is not true. So, we'll go from sharp. Let's hold it for 2 frames and then zoop. Let's see how that looks. Actually, I also want to copy these over here. So I have sharp, so I have blurry versions of those too. Let's try that. Flatten layer. Should be interesting. I don't have a chat. Don't know how to get a chat. All they have is a something went wrong monkey. And literally can't. There's no refresh. I can refresh the whole page. But chat is just a monkey. Can I see my chat here? OBS, does this work? Alright, well, we gotta wait for this layer to flatten anyway. I don't know. This is a fucking disaster.
Guy who's a different, that's a good guy.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
This is a good guy.
So it wasn't a transition into the same soldier.
I don't believe so. No, I think this is another InfoWars employee who I don't know who this is. But then, no. See, it just jumped in. This is a bunch of battle scenes, man. It's exciting. A lot of shit going on. Things exploding.
A piece of advice to the quote on the eyes: people won't even know it's you.
It's so clear who the bad guys are. Yes.
I'm going to tell you this. I'll tell you one missionary war. They didn't all wear the same.
Impossible for these demons. I know that.
Yeah.
War incoming. I'm gonna get my battle axe.
So there's Alex. There's more incoming. I'm gonna get my battle axe.
Yeah.
Which is funny because this is a crazy dystopian future war. There's fire everywhere. Everyone has like ridiculous amounts of guns. There's airships launching missiles. Alex is like, I'm gonna get my fucking battle axe.
Yep. The sky is portrayed almost identically to a Star Destroyer battle from the prequels. You know, where there's all the suspended cruisers, I guess. Which
you very much could not see from the ground because there's so much smoke. Visibility, there's nothing. It's just a disaster out there. And Alex is like, I want to get my fucking axe.
And it is so fun whenever people are like, clearly this is how battles will be fought. When it's like, all you have to do is, if you've got all of those people underneath gigantic Star Destroyers, is just drop one. Boom! Everybody's it because of earthquakes and the ground. So all of those people fighting on the ground are doing so for absolutely no reason.
It would
wasted everybody's time.
Yep.
Don't fire till you see the rest of their eyes.
aren't white. Take it. Suck it, Alex.
Their eyes are red.
Their eyes are red. Alex is a demon. He's telling you to kill the real humans.
Don't fire until you see the reds of their eyes. And then we've got this nice close-up shot of Owen Schroyer looking down the barrel of a gun, emotional. He looks emotional.
Yeah.
Right? There's conflict going on in this AI recreation of Owen Schroyer's face.
Yeah, he's looking like a Hemsworth. He's acting so hard right now.
Mm-hmm. So there's Alex fighting a literal demon with a battle axe.
God.
Just cool. It's just quite a visual.
I don't even know how to describe what I'm seeing.
It looks like a Power Rangers ass visual.
I mean, has anybody considered a genre of like steampunk a la Gary? You know, like this is like if you had to wear a bunch of armor to then get to the 8th level of hell, right? And then you were battling and you just saw a bunch of demons, but also Dante Alighieri's enemies is actually just Ivan Reichman from the past. Everybody's all like, "Oh, Dante's so great. He's part of the canon." Wrong.
Now, if you're paying attention to the video, it appears that Alex's battle axe has a red eye on it.
Yes,
which
it does.
Is a little bit of a confusing message, because it makes it seem like he has a demonic weapon.
It does. I think perhaps because it's also the identical eye to the demon. So perhaps there's a metaphor there in that he has to wield the power of evil in order to defeat evil.
That is possible. Unfortunately, that is not what happens, though. He does not defeat evil. That is, in fact, the opposite.
Oh.
So you heard Alex, no! And then we see a close-up of Harrison Smith's face looking on, just shocked. So it's implied that Alex got killed by this demon. He has been taken out in battle.
Break into the InfoWars Command Center and send the backup of Alex back to 2024. It's too late for us now.
So now we hear Chase saying that we need to break into the InfoWars studio in the 2084 and send the message back to 2024.
Right. Okay.
And so this is what has been happening.
Okay. So, let me try and understand where we are timeline-wise, because if we are in 2084 right now, so confirm for me, Dan, that the scenes that I am watching are from 2084, not 2024.
The battle itself is 2084. And them breaking into the InfoWars studio to send a message back in time is 2084. The Alex message is 2084. His warning begins in 2024. So there's the election, the economic crash, and what have you, the World War that makes the base, surface unlivable, so people have to go down and do DMT underground. Demons come around. That happens in between 2024 and 2084. But the battle and all this action is happening in 2084.
Okay, so then, if I understand correctly, the sequence of events between 2024 and 2084, based on the fact that Chase, Darren McBreen, blah, 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 they're fighting in said war.
Yeah.
Right? That means that at some point in time, they created backups of themselves.
Not necessarily.
Their original bodies must have died somewhere between 2024 and 2084, and we must be seeing their copies because they look like they're 20, 25.
Exactly.
Now, if your argument is that they were then taken over by a Holy Spirit, I'm going to tell you something right now, my buddy. Holy Spirits don't give out appearance-based boons. That's generally not what God is all about. He's usually more of the, let's turn the glitz down a notch. Okay.
No, I think that there is an inherent problem with that, and that it's supposed to be 60 years later, and they look exactly the same age.
Exactly the same.
But they did say that during the DMT drips and communicating with these other beings, they believed that they'd be able to find immortality and the secret of stopping aging. So maybe that happens with the good entities too. I don't know.
Right? Okay. So then, I mean, I guess move. You're immortal. Like, stop fighting. Just move away. Oh no, they're gonna kill me. No, they're not. You can just move. Well, and if they chase you, the Earth is a globe. They can't. You can just keep running. There's no end. You can just keep going.
Also, I think that if the surface is entirely unlivable and uninhabitable, why would the globalists who are in control of the...
Okay. Sorry, Pat. I know. He's a bad kid. He's a bad brother. No. You on the couch? Yeah, there's a couch there. It's nice on the couch. I guess I didn't have a blanket. She just huffed. She went. She's so funny. Okay. Huff. Okay, I haven't really been paying attention to what Alex is saying ever since it was like, Alex, no! Oh, Brain is sitting on my keyboard. Jeez. That's why I'm like endlessly scrolling. Alright. No, I'm not even signed in the right account. Do you hear what I'm saying? If you want... Okay, this finished flattening. Good. Let's take a look. Let's take a little watch. Oh, boogers. It didn't work. It's all completely blurred. This is supposed to be unblurred, fading to blurred. And it did not do that. That fucking sucks. Why did not it do that? Why did it not? Let's try a different method. We're gonna render instead. Test blur scene. And let's throw this up into backgrounds. Only the unique frames. This might be a better way to do it. Is to actually export as PNGs. It usually, pretty much always, is a lot faster than mixing it down and continuing to work on it in Krita. So I don't know why I don't do it. I guess while it's technically faster, it does involve more steps. And I guess I don't know, I think it maybe uses more hard drive space doing it that way. But let's see. Let's just take a look. So we're going to just open up a brand new project. Then we'll import those frames and see if it did the blurry effect. This is kind of just an experiment, but if it works, I'll be able to use these as backgrounds. If not, I'm just going to redo it in DaVinci Resolve. That's what we'll do. Okay, what was it called? Test blur scene. Brain. Oh my god, Brain. He's sitting on my keyboard and I'm like nudging him off and he thinks that Peppercorn's trying to get him. Brain, you just gotta move your butt a little bit. It's not a problem. Jeez, buddy. Brain, you just gotta move your butt a little bit. Just move your butt a little bit. Boop, 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 boop. I wish I could see the chat room. The internet is so bad. I don't even know if I'm streaming. How could I possibly be streaming if I literally can't even like open a single web page? Nope, it fucking sucks. It did not do the blur effect, even when it exported. So, bullshit. It sucks. Fuck it, we'll do it in DaVinci. I said, fuck it, we'll do it in DaVinci.
Aces Underground and that whole labyrinth system down there. Why would they fight with Owen and Harrison and Chase for the surface? Why wouldn't they just be like, all right, good luck living out there? It's unlivable. Yeah.
Fuck, my phone just died.
Two things always been off limits. I still say women and children. Today nobody living with moral compass. Pointing the fingers around the mirrors. Play the song on the radio. I need everybody on the dance floor tonight. Possibility of language where nobody wins.
Right? But it doesn't make sense because now that we're in the dystopia, what's their end game now? You know, like everybody dies, or are they going to the star? Are you stopping them from going to the stars? Why are you stopping them?
I guess that, well, I mean, it's implied by the ships that they have. They're probably already in the stars, right? So who cares about Earth at that point?
Steal one of the ships and fly away. What are we doing here? Why? Nobody's fighting for a good reason.
Not really, no. And that's how we lost Alex. We have a copy of his consciousness in the InfoWars studio that can be sent back in time, which is notably Chase's idea.
They formed the last bastion of hope for humanity. but their numbers were few and their resources were scarce. They fought in the shadows, sabotaging the globalist.
Are we live? Okay. I think we are live. Let's check. Okay, yeah. I'm streaming. Okay, I'm gonna shut that off so I don't keep echoing. I'm so frustrated with the internet. It's such a disaster. I had to like fucking re-sign in with a security thing with my fucking tablet. So stupid. What the fuck? Okay, so nothing happened. No one's here. No harm. No foul. Well, whatever. I'm going to end the stream here, and we'll maybe pick it up later. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe another day. We'll see. Let's